Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. Today I'm doing a second video tonight. I'm gonna stay up until I get everything I want done in my life. No, sleep is overrated, but I do need my sleep, so I will probably be going to bed once some other things are done. So today I'm going to be talking about this recent TikTok cancellation of Metallica by Stranger Things fans, and I debated whether or not I would be talking about this because I think it's so juvenile at this point to be. Well, for one, I mean, I love the first four Metallica. I always will. The EP too. There's no separation of my, as far as like I will never. It's just like it's like an umbilical cord or something in my brain, on my brain. It's like it's just forever part of my life. I cannot ever say a bad word about the first four albums, other than the lack of bass on Justice or whatever. But yeah. So this Serena Youngblood, I guess she's a Generation Z TikToker, did actually. I just had to look at a text for a second. So actually did a video series about how your favorite band is problematic, and she also did Metallica, and this has kind of gone viral and stuff. And in her description tagline, or description, says "Stop cancel culture" hashtag, or cancel culture is cancerous or something like that, which is very interesting to put in there. It's almost like she's doing it as an ironic thing, sort of, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Hard to say, hard to interpret, but I guess people took it seriously enough to make it trend on Twitter and elsewhere. So I'm just going to go into some of the reasoning. I guess James is a right-winger. They did mock Nazi salutes on stage, which I've done in my life, and I have Jewish ancestry. Everybody plays around with mocking different cultures, or however odious that culture is. It's a part of, growing up. You make fun of things. It's life. Maybe I'm too old to understand the new woke life of kids, that they don't talk about anything sensitive or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I did Nazi salutes, and I mean, use different words like the dreaded R word, and did all sorts of stuff. And there was a limit, of course. I mean, I wouldn't say the N word really. It just didn't feel right to me. But the R word, I would say, and I still do say it a little bit here and there. Or the G word, what's that? I wonder. And that's not really coming from like any kind of homophobia. It's more like, it's like this emasculated kind of slang. It's slang for like an emasculated person, sort of in this traditional macho, like a weak-willed person mixed with the macho stereotype of a weak-willed person, like put together, or weak-wristed. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I had to say that. So this woman does these videos. She also painted a bunch of Metallica covers. If you check it out, she like paints all these album covers. So I think she's coming as a fan, but I don't know what the purpose of these videos are. She did like Blink-182, and she mentions like the idea that they don't publicly support LGBT plus causes or Black Lives Matter as one of the problematic things. It's like that one kind of bothered me the most, because I'll tell you why. Because some people do not want to talk about politics, and Metallica, ironically, were very political in the 80s. I don't give a shit what they say now, what James tries to do, these stupid mental gymnastics. Metallica aren't political. Oh, yeah. Listen to Justice for All, listen to fucking Ride the Lightning. It's at least socio-topical, sort of political, in this way. It's like Dave Mustaine saying he was never political or something, which he would never say. I'm just saying, it's real. If he started talking about his personal life and all the lyrics, and then, I was never political, even though peace sells, but who's buying? Come on, give me a fucking break, okay? Maybe more political than Metallica in a certain, like, more obvious way, of course. I'm not denying that. So anyways, that pisses me off more than something he did 35 years ago in a band shoot or a photo shoot, I mean, or on a video or something, and people, it just boggles the mind why, first of all, these normies are listening to Metallica and expecting some kind of clean cut awesome band like that never like swore or just totally like I just don't understand their perception of reality, these people that are trying to cancel Metallica. And it's like the 80s, for one, the 80s were very homophobic. I mean, Eddie Murphy, his comedy, Andrew Dice Clay, and I like both those comedians. That's the thing. So it was very homophobic, very transphobic. I'm going to use that as a quotation marks because I think that a lot of things are called that and aren't necessarily that nowadays. Like when you talk about sports or something, you're automatically like branded that if you question anything to do with biology or anything like that, or I mean, say that biology is a factor and stuff. So that's why I put that in quotation marks. Now, Metallica getting canceled by these really dumb youths who probably don't have much of a life and they're just on the internet all the time on Twitter. It only bothers me that they are so fucking naive and just like myopically dumb. I mean, you're talking about a metal band that was formed in the 80s, and it's like, what do they expect? It's heavy metal. Like, if heavy metal has gotten to the point, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, if heavy metal has gotten to a point where the like people perceive it to be this soft thing that they can just like absorb and listen to without like any kind of edge to it, then metal is dead. Metal is supposed to be edgy. It's supposed to be questioning, anti-authority, anti-establishment, anti-status quo. And there's things that are status quo. There's things that are status quo now that people don't question, and people should question. Or there's some things that are status quo, they're just norms that are good, too, and they always are. There's always good parts of the status quo, too. But it questions the status quo, so I don't know why these people, and just the fact that people are in this mindset about Metallica. It's like, I mean, it's just hilarious that all these normies got into Metallica because of Stranger Things, first of all, and I just laugh that they find out, oh my god, they had sex with a groupie, or oh my god, they did. Well, I mean, they probably, some of them are into casual sex and stuff. I'm not saying like the younger people are a little kind of kinky, to be honest, with my experience with them, but a lot of the younger people. But I just saying like, oh my god, they said a racial slur one time in a, drunk in a party, or they did this or did that, and James was kind of a redneck. Oh my god, what a shock. It's like, it just bothers me, just like these people that are just so fucking naive. Like, they're just so in this weird bubble of reality. It makes me really sad. That's what makes me sad about it. I could care less of Metallica or Bash nowadays, because they kind of deserved it for for certain things they've done the last 30 years or so. Honestly, they kind of deserve a little bit of bashing, and there's no doubt about it. But the fact that these people are so gloriously naive as to not expect Metallica to have like some problematic ideas in the past, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. I mean, God forbid my band gets famous. Holy shit, to see my YouTube videos about COVID and it's all this stuff that I've said about all these political matters, and but I've been watching this or listening to this podcast, Red Scare podcast. These two women that are kind of on the edge of the left and the whatever conspiratorial right, or the horseshoe, or maybe a little bit of nihilism in there too, a little bit of humor, dirtbag left, or whatever you call it. I guess I'm kind of part of that now in a way. But like, it doesn't really matter that these, I mean, these things don't really matter in the long run, but what matters to me, as far as with this Metallica thing, what bothers me, like I said, it bothers me that people are so naive and so sheltered and so dumb, like, as to believe that there wouldn't be like some problematic thing in the past of Metallica's band members. You know, whether it be Kirk doing or Newsted doing the Nazi salute or goose step across the stage. You know, I have friends that do that for fun on the weekend. they've done that just as a joke. People do that shit all the time. Doesn't mean they're a Nazi, you know? I mean, you know, someone might go to a Halloween party and shave their mustache like Hitler and just like, ha ha ha. They might even be Jewish. Actually, that make it even funnier in a way, you know? If someone was Jewish, like, shaved their mustache like Hitler, people would be laughing their ass off. It doesn't mean you're laughing at the Holocaust. It doesn't mean you're laughing at, you know, at what happened. It's just like, this is so ridiculous. It's so over the top and silly, you know? So, of course, Metallica made jokes, God forbid. And, you know, there's this rumored thing about Ice-T and Body Count, which I don't know who to believe on that one. And the 91 or 92 Guns N' Roses Metallica tour, but Axl Rose said James Hetfield's racist, pot meat kettle, you know, 1 in a million, which Screwdriver covered 1 in a million because it's racist. The neo-Nazi band Screwdriver, because it's racist. So who the hell are you to say, oh, Axl Rose said this? You know, and Axl Rose has become kind of a woke tard nowadays, and so has Sebastian Bach in many ways, but still, like, they have a history of being racist and homophobic. You know, they do. You know, both of them do. And maybe they're so like conflicted about it that they're trying to like go the opposite way too much. Like they're overcompensating in a way. I think that's part of it. So yeah, you see this. But James Hetfield's just a redneck kind of, you know, he grew up with Christian Science parents, and he's like had this weird journey, you know, and now he's probably I believe he's hardcore Christian. He's not public about it, like Dave Mustaine is, but he did like this weird he narrated this weird anti-porn documentary for like this Mormon group, anti-porn group, James Hetfield. That offends me way more. That is more offensive to me than any fucking, like, if he wore like a Iron Cross. Oh my God, that's a Nazi symbol. West Coast Choppers and all these shows in the 2010s, you know, oh, they're all Nazi shows because Iron Cross is Nazi. These people are just fucking out of their minds and so dumb and clueless, and it just makes me so mad. And this woman this girl that does these videos, I mean, I have to ask her, like, is she serious? Is she like, what does she want to have happen? Is she just wanting to like have a laugh at, you know, how problematic all her favorite bands are, or is she just trying to like rile people up or make people think, or I don't know what she's trying to do. It's hard to say because you watch a lot of her videos, you're trying to see what the motivation is, and it's really weird. Nevertheless, people interpreted it rightly or wrongly as a impetus to cancel Metallica, and I'm just scratching my head, literally right now. I'm scratching my head as if, you know, how these people got so naive and sheltered. And, you know, it's like eventually everything will be canceled. So canceling will just be like a joke. Oh, I got canceled. Oh, I'm going to go sell out my arena next, you know? I mean, if anything, you know, and these cultural things getting canceled, these cultural figures or touchstones, it's like, shouldn't you be focused on some better things to cancel? I mean, these billionaires, these elites, these politicians, they should be canceled. But they, you know, like, this girl mentioned, didn't support Obama, or like, well, that was one of the, like, her things about one of the bands, like, they didn't support Obama or something like that, and I'm like, so you value, you know, like unknowingly value neoliberalism over, like, you identify neoliberalism with wokeism, and that's the trick that they're playing on you, because they're trying to say, oh, well, Obama's this great guy, Look at all the trade deals. Look at all the fucking the financiers and the financial elite that were in his administration, by all the warmongering that he did. It's far worse than anything James Hetfield did or whatever. He killed a bear in Russia. Okay, well that's pretty fucking gross. But I mean, it's just this stupidity. It's like idiocracy. These people are so stupid, and I mean, I actually did sort of like Stranger Things, as I've said before. The fourth season, very derivative as usual of many different things, including Akira, which I saw in the theater back when it was playing a limited theatrical release in America back in 1989. Ooh, or 90, I think it was actually, as a little kid. So like, I can see all these things that were recycled, but I still enjoyed it to a great extent, more than the previous seasons, except for part one. Never saw the third series or the third season, but yeah, it's so ridiculous. And eventually, I mean, I don't know how else you can be if you cancel everything. What else is there to cancel? Just have to cancel yourself, I guess. I mean, these people are just they're just so like blind to the actual delusion that's being perpetuated upon them. And that's what bothers me more than anything, because these people are not. This is why there is a separation on the left right now, because some of the left know that it's. I'm just saying, like, I consider myself on the left. Someone like Jimmy Dore, or even Kyle Kalinske, I would say, or the Breaking Points people, or the Red Scare podcast. Maybe, I don't know if they're on the left anymore. They've been saying some weird stuff lately. People, or Katie Halper, or these people, or Matt Taibbi, or Glenn Greenwald. Just these examples. Those people question the people in power. They question the elites. Maybe you disagree with their economic ideas internally in America. Maybe you disagree with that. Maybe you disagree with some of their social ideas. But you can agree that they're against the same people that a lot of the people on the right, when they question power, are against right now. But the more woke someone is, it seems like to me, more woke. There are exceptions, I'll say. There are exceptions, but a lot of them seem very blind to neoliberalism. Look at the Hillary thing after Trump won. A lot of white Karen, middle class SJW types that were crying about Bernie Bros and sexism and all this shit. And that's really like the most toxic part of this new paradigm that we're in with politics. And that's why it bothers me. That's why the Metallica thing bothers me. It's like, you are so blind and so naive and full of shit. And I don't mean this girl, Serena Youngblood, because I don't know what her intent is of this, because she covers all these bands. And the whole idea, they don't support Black Lives Matter. It's like, maybe they don't support politics publicly, some of these bands. Maybe they just don't want to divide their audience. Have you ever thought about that? It doesn't mean they're racists, And I don't support Black Lives Matter, the organization, because of some of the stuff that's come out about them. Even though I am for some of the same causes, like I've said. And when they went, against the mandates in New York, you bet I was happy about that. But stuff like that. But I'm not. If my bands that I'm in ever get big, I'm not going to come out and say, I'm in support of this or that. I'm just going to do rants like this, and people can try to figure it out on their own. I'm against neoliberalism. So is Roger Waters. Roger Waters is another example. Like, I see a lot of right-wingers praising him because he bashes Biden, but he bashes Trump too, and then they get all triggered by that. Oh my God, I went to a show and he was bashing Trump. Oh my God. What do I expect by a guy that's been political for 50 years? So there are snowflakes on the right and the left. So, but, this whole thing, Metallica. The thing about Metallica is, like, I wish they would come out and say, yeah, we used to have this political stance in the 80s, or we had we talked about politics more. Now we're a little bit more moderate, or I think James is up Crazy Creek, honestly, but he just doesn't come out in the open about it because of that Mormon documentary. That was crazy. That's beyond Dave Mustaine. Like, I don't think Dave Mustaine would narrate like an anti-porn documentary per se. Like, yeah, I think porn is like terrible and like, well, that sounds a little like Lars too, but you watch the pornography, it's degrading your brain. You're gonna get in trouble. But anyways, yeah, I don't like this cancel Metallica thing. It's so stupid and just like, are they like, maybe it's Metallica doing it, maybe they're like no, they're not astroturfing this, but it'd be hilarious if they did, because it's like, the new thing is this P.T. Barnum-esque, like, or Ryan Holiday talks about this a lot in his book, what the hell was it called? It was a great book, but how you create bad publicity to get more publicity, you know? But they already had publicity from Stranger Things, so that doesn't make any sense, but it's hilarious anyways to think about. So yeah, if people want to, and you know, I'll be accused of gatekeeping and being a metal elitist, oh my god, okay, that's good. Maybe we need these people. Maybe we need gatekeepers. I love that. That's a new term that came out last week, pretty much. You know, this gatekeeper thing. It's like, I think gatekeeping about metal is an emergency action at this point when these types of people are coming into the scene. Fuck it. Maybe gatekeeping is good. Actually, there was a Twitter guy that said that. This is why there's gatekeeping, is when these types of fucking morons are coming in and saying, oh my god, Metallica, I can't listen to them anymore. I liked them because of Stranger Things. You're a fucking poser. You would get your ass kicked in a mosh pit. You're you know, whether a lot of them are, it's like, Beast Girl, super skinny, woke guy. Both of them would have their asses whooped easily in a mosh pit in the 80s or 90s. That's about all.